That's right there. It has to be like the middle of us, right?
It's like that.
Yeah.
What are those whole video terms? It doesn't matter. It's just faces. Anyways, George, welcome back to laughing. Oh, that's not laughing. Learning out loud.
Learning out loud.
But what number is it?
8.
You actually kept track?
I think last time was 7.
Okay, learning out loud 8. The special number 8.
Can I check?
That doesn't really matter.
Are you started? Are you really doing this?
We'll do it for a little bit. We'll see what happens.
Wait, can we like... Is this the intro?
Yeah, this is the intro.
Oh, fuck. Alright.
So, George, please give us an update as to what has happened recently.
No. Wait, what are we talking about today?
Shouldn't we have planned this out beforehand?
Huh?
Shouldn't we have planned this out beforehand?
Yeah, we should have, but we didn't.
Anyways, so we're thinking of different clickbait titles. I think today is going to be revealing the uncomfortable truths of life.
It's not very...
Or like the deepest, darkest secrets, part 2.
What's part 1?
Remember that one time you just kind of talked a little bit more about yourself and your personal life?
No, I don't. All of our titles... Dude, can we just start over? Please.
Well, I'll just cut this part out.
Alright.
Alright, wait. So this part's going to be cut out, Ryan. Are you ready?
Right.
I don't know how to do this fucking filming thing.
Alright, fuck this shit. Alright, you know what? We don't cut any of that.
No!
Because, like, if you...
People are going to skip
out.
through all 10 seconds of this.
Whatever. Like, we can't cut it out.
Okay, fine. It's not worth our time to discuss that. Anyway, so George, what should we talk about in today's conversation?
We can talk about what we just talked about. So, like, the fact that things are edited and cut out, just like a lot of our social media and everything, right? Weren't you just reading an article about that?
Oh, about that topic? Oh, FOMO.
Yeah. Or, yeah, exactly. FOMO.
Okay, we can talk about that one.
Like, what are some... like, is FOMO something that's very, common in your life? Like, of course it is, like, it's a rhetorical question, but, like, what are some, like, what's some, like, internal dialogue that happens when you experience FOMO, and how do you make a decision whether or not to participate or just do what you're doing before?
Well, I think the article was saying that the problem with FOMO is that you pack too many unnecessary things in your life and you think it's going to pan out the way that it is. So, like, the one example he uses is, like, you look at Instagram posts of people, like, in Bali or, like, Amalfi Coast or somewhere really unique. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it is, like, the filtering, the editing, like, the perfect moment. And he makes the example of making fun of, like, Chinese tourists. And, like, where are you ever going to go where Chinese tourists are going to have their, like, fucking flags all over the place and going to block that view that you really wanted to get? Like, it's never as beautiful as it looks there. Mm-hmm. It's all in your mind. Does that make sense? It's like you play out this fantasy in your mind of wanting to go there instead of actually enjoying going there. Mm-hmm. Was one of the things he talked about. And I definitely agree that kind of relates to everything in life. Is social media is like presenting everyone's best moments. So you compare your average timeline to that. Because, like, if I'm just sitting in a coffee shop and I see someone in Bali, of course it's going to seem like their life is better than mine. Mm-hmm. But that's because they're displaying their best time in life. I'm not displaying my time going to a coffee shop.
Let's just, like, get something straight. So when you say fear of missing out, are you referring to people who you're not necessarily friends with, but, like, people you're following and they're doing something, but you're not invited? It's kind of like...
Not invited.
Like, they're there, right? So are you just jealous that there? Or are you FOMOing, meaning more like your friends are doing something and you kind of want to join them, but you weren't invited, or your friends are doing something fun and
it could be
you just want to be included?
It could be anything. It could be random people that you see on Instagram, like through your direct feed, like people that are just traveling all over the world, whether these are friends or just random figures. But basically you're envious of their life at that moment in time.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive it as.
Absolutely.
Or like people like the example is like people are at a party and you decided to stay home and play League of Legends.
Or you just weren't invited. Like, that happens a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was life story right there.
Yeah, story of my life, your life. I'm just kidding, it's part of my life.
What are your thoughts on it?
Wait, so just going back, like, so when you do see, say, like, a couple of, like, acquaintances at a party and they're, like, Snapchatting it, what are some, like, thoughts that are going through your mind, and what do you do to, like, how do you deal with that?
I think it's better now. Because it's like, if I wanted to go, I would have found a way to go there, or I would have found other friends to go out and go drink, for instance. But in that moment in time, if I'm just like really tired from work or from life, and to me like playing League of Legends or watching Netflix is more enjoyable, then I'll kind of just say, it's fine. Like there's gonna be many more of those events down the line. Oh, and it goes back to the article that he mentions too, is that like you feel like during that party, like some revelations are gonna be made, like really funny stories are gonna happen, and that's the FOMO that you feel like you're missing out on. Like you're gonna miss on this great occasion,
Right.
when in reality it's just one out of 1,000 million parties that you can go to or that your friends are at. There's nothing that special. Like you might miss one story, but it's not gonna break or change your life. But in our head, it's like, oh my god, you never know. Like this is like the biggest opportunity.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how I treat it now. It's like whatever. Like I can go to one of these other bars or parties, like next week, a month from now. Right? I don't know. I mean, I still experience it, but I guess that's my way of tricking myself into like not caring about it as much.
Yeah. It's like, especially during, like, I remember like freshman year of college, or those early. I'm still pretty young, but like, especially those times, like you never wanted to miss like a party, or never wanted to miss like a club event, or some type of event that everyone was going to, right?
But I guess that's also like the context of it in freshman years, because you just started this whole new world.
Right.
You have no network, so you feel like it's actually better to have been at all those places. Like even as worthless as it was, like you're still meeting new people, and you never know like what hidden opportunities are there.
Right.
But I think if it's like,
What changed?
I'm just saying that example might not be the best example.
Why? I feel like that time, at least to me, was the time where I felt the most FOMO.
I guess to kind of contradict myself, I guess that is because like even if you made friendships there, like but a lot of these friendships that you meet at parties isn't like things that you're gonna be like really close with like 10 years from now. So I guess in a way like those weren't like super meaningful times to have gone to like that one party or that one thing.
I don't know what point we're trying to make right now.
I don't know either. I think it's going on this loop. I think we're just actively talking about FOMO.
FOMO.
Do you feel FOMO right now, George? On a Sunday night, your tap's out there playing, and here we are drinking Starbucks.
No, I feel like I do feel FOMO like a lot, and I feel like it's not very good, obviously, because like that means you don't have like your own set schedule, and you don't like you'll do things just because you don't want to miss out, even though you don't have your own routine and your plans going out. Like you'll just spontaneously just go out of your way to go join a party or something, just because. And I feel like it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. I feel like it's good to be able to decide in advance when you're going to go do something, instead of being just like attracted to shiny events and things that everyone's going to be at. Does that make sense at all? Like, for example, if someone was just like, my friend was just like, if I was like studying for a test, right?
Yeah.
And then friend's just like, hey, I'm having a party tonight, and I'm just like, fuck, party, I just want to go to the party. And you kind of just like put aside your party and put aside your studying and go to the party, and now you're just kind of off track. You're not like, you don't have boundaries.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean, but I'm also thinking like,
But at the same time,
maybe I'm overthinking what your example, but yes.
Okay, or like, it's like you don't have like it's. I just feel like it's an issue for me, because schedule, right? For example, today, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to be studying today, and then like you're in town, and then so I was like, all
ruin
right,
it
cool.
for you?
No, you didn't ruin it for me. Like I made a decision, like I can study and I can hang out with Brian too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like pure study. At the same time, like I actually had originally planned to go to the gym.
Oh.
But then I was like, you know what, I can study more and I can hang out with Brian. So it's kind of like I gave up a little bit of something, just because it's not necessarily FOMO, but more so just like making it just comes back to decision
Like I just
making.
became a higher priority for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like priorities.
Stroking my own ego here. Anyways, getting a little caught away to there.
Yeah. Anyways, we haven't like made like a video. Actually, we never made a video.
No, we never did. I was always fearful of it,
Why?
and I still know if this is gonna get put on YouTube.
I don't know, man.
We'll have to see.
What are you scared of?
This is like a whole different topic, but for me, it's like not being comfortable with my own self-identity,
Yeah, for sure.
like physical looks. Don't think I'm good enough to like broadcast myself to others.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I was thinking like when we were talking, I was like all these other YouTube stars like talk in a way that's captivating but just concise enough. But for me, I feel like I ramble too much. Don't get to the point fast enough.
Yeah. Well, a lot of their stuff is scripted, right?
But like vlogs aren't scripted though. But even the way they communicate isn't on par with how I communicate.
How so? Wait, vlogs are edited though. So they took extracted the best parts and
Okay.
made it into a very concise. That's what editing is.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's like if we took this and we just like
cut out like the whole like.
and only cut out the parts that we wanted to be like golden. I mean, like it's true because like no one has time. Honestly, like no one's gonna like watch this. If people do, it's like because they support or like they're just like interested. Other than that, it's like what everyone's saying. Oh, like the most valuable thing is someone's attention and their time, right? So like that's why editing is important because like no one has time for anything right now. It's just
like getting the highlights of everything.
exactly, and everyone's like just like that's why articles became listicles. That's why vlogs are becoming like stories, Snapchat stories. You know, like it's just like everything. Yeah, everyone is like everyone just wants everyone's attention.
But how do we all get so busy suddenly?
No, it's just.
Let's go back to the original topic. Why? Well, I guess because we're going on too many tangents here. But I don't know. Do you feel comfortable putting yourself on YouTube?
I don't know. I just want the intentions to be right. You know. I feel like before it used to be like I don't know, I just wanted to, if I'm being honest, like it's just like everyone wants to be like YouTube famous and stuff like that, right? Like that's like
Did you actually buy into that trend recently?
What do you mean?
Like for me, like I told you about the idea, like watching all these other YouTubers, like
Yeah.
it like inspired me to go like, damn, this is like a pretty lucrative route to go down.
Oh.
Like this can be like you're basically selling your lifestyle and it's all marketing.
I don't know if I didn't do it for that. It's just like I like making videos and it's just like cool making videos like just like about yourself, and then if people want to follow you, that's cool. And then obviously like if you could be in a full-time job where you actually make money off it, that's like a doubly cool thing, you know. So that was what it was for me. But yeah, I totally understand the lucrative route where you're selling your lifestyle, you gotta travel, and you gotta like it just becomes a cycle where the money puts into your traveling and your lifestyle.
Like
and
it funnels. You're basically just broadcasting.
Yeah,
what
you're
you
just
do
like an
and what you
influencer. And it goes back to the phone. Like it goes back to.
But I think that's what makes these YouTubers so captivating is that they live the lives that like if you're specifically interested in beauty and you see this girl get all the beauty products in the world and like
they're living the dream.
living
you
the
know?
dream, like live a nice place, like don't have to work, they literally just do beauty products, which is their life. You feel the I don't know if that's FOMO, like you're not fear of missing out there, but it's like your escape. You know?
You're envious of their lifestyle. It's like a fantasy.
Yeah. So you use the YouTube video as a different channel of you to live out your dreams.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to get at.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think that really gets me about like cars and all that other shit. But I mean, is this the type of YouTube video that you would want to put your name attached to? Because it seems like that was the thing that was holding you back from wanting to start YouTube.
I didn't make YouTube videos just because I was scared of what people will think. I was scared of walking around with a camera, like doing a selfie. You know,
I don't see that often though. Even though you see some YouTube stars.
scared of like the same like insecurities that you have of like why my life? Why is my life cool? You know, like who's gonna watch this? Like why does it even matter? Like am I even good enough? Is this content even worthy of being put on? You know, like what do people like?
But it's like you tell me it's all in your head
Yeah,
until you actually just do it and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's why we're filming this right now, right? It's just like fuck it.
That is a good point. But it's not a self-image thing for you. Like you feel comfortable with your body, your face, everything being broadcast.
I don't feel comfortable, but it's okay, I guess. I mean, I was like watching this video the other day. It was about how like everyone's just so focused about themselves that they don't really pay attention to who they're actually talking to. Like, I'm like talking to you right now, right? But like in my head, sometimes I'm just like, are they gonna know about this pimple on my face, or like, are they gonna? Can they see this right now? It's not even. I'm not even listening to you half the time. Sometimes, just because like all I'm listening to is the thoughts in my head about like what's wrong with me.
That's such a good point, though, because I thought about that just now too. It's that someone mentioned it once where like you shouldn't worry about what other people think because 99% of the time they don't give a shit about you because they're thinking about themselves.
Exactly.
So it's like why waste your time on something?
And it's just like draining, and it's like, there's another. I think someone was like, some other video I was watching where this guy was talking about why it's important to just focus on the other person is because. Like apparently this guy went to like a hip hop dance class, right? And there's like mirrors everywhere. Yeah. And he was just like he's like obviously self-conscious. Like he doesn't know whether or not he was dancing was cool or you know like whether or not he was doing the right thing. He's like, don't even worry. Like most of the people aren't even looking at you. They're just looking at themselves and how they're dancing. Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah.
Interesting. How come we can't live like that though?
Oh. Because like we have like it's because we see all these like we have all these references of what it's like to an ideal human being, right? That it's just like like you see these YouTube stars or you see these Instagram models or things that have been edited out where they're not even it's not even realistic, and then you're just like I don't have that, therefore I'm unworthy, you know.
Yeah, I think it's that plus like how people like the whole marketing thing, just like the business world they make money because they make like you feel like you're missing something. Like
exactly.
Mercedes,
point, right?
Yeah.
You work in sales too, like not too. I don't work in sales anymore.
Anymore? Wow. Okay. Anyways,
it's
saying?
Like it's like if someone doesn't, when someone doesn't have a pain point, you kind of give it to them. Like you say like you need it. It's like any type of marketing. Mm-hmm. Any type of advertisements, like you're not enough, therefore you need this to be complete.
Yeah. Oh, because basically the true essence of business pitches is basically saying that you're not generating enough money, but we'll help you generate more money.
And you're just like giving into like you're relying on people's what is it called? Like what is greed? Greed is a 7 deadly sins. Yeah. But like you're relying on people's like who doesn't want more money, right? Yeah. It's like that's when I was like working at Yelp, right? It was like they're like, oh, I'm making yeah. He's like people were just like, yeah, I'm just making so much money right now. I'm like, but you could be making more, right?
They're like, yeah, I could.
Yeah, it's like yeah, you could now. It's just like,
well, businesses are created to the essential goal of business is to make money, like non-profits are, I mean, I don't know where I was going with that. But like it's just like inherently what a business is for is to make money. No one's in the business to lose money.
Yeah. Dude, where's this video going? I feel like we're all over the place, but
that's the glory of all this. You live and you learn. You're learning out loud.
Oh yeah, that's why I created that link. Oh shit, I totally forgot why I made it.
Why did you make it?
It was because literally like that.
Oh, like you talk it out and you learn from doing that?
Like you're not thinking out loud. It's like it's happening and you're learning.
Ooh, I didn't know about that. You never told me the explanation behind learning out loud.
Yeah, it's like you.
I feel like you never told me that.
That sounds a cool name. Like I had a blog before. It's called Learning Out Loud.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How come I've never seen it?
Because you don't see everything in life, dude.
But I want to. Little by little.
Yeah, dude.
But I guess the point of this video is just to show that, you know, shit's still the same. We're still figuring life out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I know. I wanted to create a vlog or like a blog that kind of documented like the behind the scenes, right? Because so often people like people don't see the in between stuff between like as a amateur and like a professional, or like don't see the journey that people take. Well, sometimes they do. That's why it's like cool to follow, especially if like you're becoming really good at your craft or something. Then they're like, you know, like when you usually follow people who are like really good at something or they know a lot about something, right?
But but it depends on the person's interest. So, like sometimes people want to follow that journey, and sometimes people
Yeah.
just see the final product
Yeah.
and go like, "Wow, it's so easy to become a millionaire."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think the journey is really important too, where, because if you see someone who is shitty, or like not say shit, that's really mean, but like if you see someone, if you're able to watch someone who's not, like worse than you and they're getting results, or it kind of like inspires you to continue, like go on your path and try things too.
Because you're like, why can't I do it? Like, what
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
them so special?
Exactly. Like, because most of the time it's really intimidating because you want your final product to be, or you want your craft or your final product to be just as good as a professional, right? And there's that gap. Like, there's a lot of like articles about the gap, about where you start and where you want to be, and then it's all about like lessening the gap.
Yeah.
It's like for you, like your sales, right? You have a vision of where you want to be. You want to be your top sales rep. You want to be closing deals left and right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you're not there yet, and that's like a shitty thought, because the reality is you're not there yet, but you want to be there so badly.
But your whole mind's fixated on the end goal.
You're just like, I'm not there. You don't fixate on like what you were before. You just fixate on not being there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
That coffee is making you philosophical.
Dude, honestly, yeah. But sometimes I'm just like, dude, I think too much. Like,
Yeah, it's like the saying that life isn't that difficult. It's more simple than we make it out to be. But I guess it adds all this unnecessary drama in your head that makes your life feel so much more different. Because if it was so simple, then it might seem bland. But sometimes simple is not bad. Like, we add all these like variables of like so much shit going on, but in reality, if you really break it down, like there's not much else going on. Does that make sense? Like we purposely make it more difficult, but in the grand spectrum of things,
greedy.
Well, it's greedy, but it's like a lot of self-interest. So like you want to make it more juicy, you know. Like even if it's bad juice, but it's still like my life's full of shit, you know.
What?
Like full of the good and bad. It's not the whole victimization thing. It's just like you add context to your life because you don't want to look like, you don't want to be an oatmeal. You want to be like Lucky Charms. You got some random marshmallows in there, some weird cereal, some milk. Like you got all sorts of shit going on.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with eating oatmeal.
It's healthy.
My point. Yeah, it's healthy. Yeah, actually, it is healthy. It's an easy lifestyle to live. It's very straightforward. You know what? You don't expect very much. You kind of just live it by. Oh, that's a really good way to put it. Think about it now. It's healthy. Simple and healthy. I like that.
Sure. But it's like hard not to when you're surrounded, like you're blasted by
Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces.
Exactly, and you're just like, everywhere you see is just, you're just like, it's like greed. You're like, why can't I have that? You know, like, I want that, you know.
What do you really want? I feel like I'm more like right in front of us, funny enough, is Porsche, Mercedes, Land Rover, everything I can dream of. And that's what really gets me going on a high level. But what about for you?
What gets me going?
Like, where does your greed stem from? It doesn't seem like it's money. It doesn't seem like, I really don't know what your greed stems from. For me, it's like not having a nice enough car.
I don't know. I think I have the same. Who doesn't want a nice car, right? Who doesn't want a lot of money? Who doesn't want like a cool girlfriend? You know, like. I want
But
this.
it doesn't bother you as much as it bothers me.
It bothers me.